Getting old is rough. Last shot. Dude, really? It's always the last shot. Why? Why is it always the last shot? That was like cloverleaf, and then the last shot's like bloop. Why? Okay, I'm gonna go down and check that last group. Out of the Ruger American Gen 2 Predator 20-inch barrel, 6.5 Grendel. I removed the muzzle brake, which wasn't really much of a muzzle brake. It's kind of a fancy end cap for the threads, especially if you own a suppressor. You're just gonna take it off, put the can on there anyway. That's what I did. I highly recommend that you own cans. If you've never bought a suppressor and you're afraid of being registered with the government, there are so many people that are on that list, and there are so many products on that list that it is anonymity by volume. Anonymity, whatever, I fucked that word up. It was awesome. Yeah, there's just so many people on the list, it doesn't matter. And quite frankly, nobody's really coming for your shit. So if they are, they're dumb. It's gonna hurt. Okay, let's see what it looks like. It's that one right there. So that was my group, and that last one was the one that I dropped. It was right there, the bottom one. It's always the fucking last shot. I cried a little, I'm gonna lie, I cried a little with that last shot. Those first four were boss. That's probably why I janked it. I was thinking about it. Too much mind. So I figure the longest range that 6.5 Grendel with 120 to 123 grain bullet that's made well can really take a deer. I mean, I think you could even take something as big as an elk if you were really confident in the bullet and it was going to punch nice and deep, something like a, you know, like a solid copper or something like that. But for our purposes around here, it's whitetail deer, right? Missouri's full of whitetail. I'm surprised I actually haven't seen one so far today. They're usually out here. Anyway, about 400 yards of 450. So I'm going to go out here to 430 yards, and I'm going to set up my GoPro, and we're going to do some shooty on steel with the Ruger American. Oh, there we go, little fawn running off into the woods. Hi, little fawn. Run away, it's gonna get uglier down here. Yeah, so we'll see if I can hit anything. I'll even repaint the target so I can't be like, look, see, there's a hit. Now we'll repaint them and set it up and do some shooting. right, but I still hit. Everyone's on steel. That's 430 yards with 6.5 Grendel. It is, in my opinion, probably one of the best choices for a whitetail round in this state. In the Midwest, I don't know how you can get around it. Low recoiling, really good impact. You can hear the steel hit at 430 yards, even over the damn lawnmower. It's pretty boss. All right, let's shut this off. All right, let's look at the hits. So that is, hold on, I'll just use my GoPro. That's my GoPro in comparison to where I was hitting. Okay, 430 yards. Every one of those was a hit. I had no misses. This is the closest to a miss I had, and every one of those would have been a dead deer. Yep, I mean, I'm shooting minute of angle at 430 yards. That's pretty much what that is. I'll take it. That's a win. So it's the afternoon after I shot all of that video out at the range today. Sun's going down, so light's a little bit different. Kind of my final thoughts on the Ruger American Gen 2s. There's three different portions of the Gen 2 line. This one is a Predator. It's got the green stock with the brown Cerakote slash. It's anodizing. So you also have a gray stock, which is the longer barrels. This is a 20-inch barrel in the Predator line. It's a 22-inch barrel with the gray stocks. And then the carbines are 16-inch barrels, and those are tan stocks. So those are, I think they call them ranch or carbine, one or the other, I forget. I've got to handle 3 or 4 of them so far now. This is the one that I've shot the most. I've got to dry fire a bunch of the triggers. The triggers vary. I've seen the triggers at 3.5, and I've seen the triggers at 5. So this one, I took it apart and went to adjust the Accu trigger, and I couldn't get any lower than 5 pounds. I could get higher, but I couldn't get any lower than 5 pounds. That sucks. So that sucks a lot, and it was not okay. So I immediately went online and I looked for a replacement trigger, and Timney makes one, right? Okay, so Timney makes a replacement trigger. I bought it. I put it in here. It's a little weird. It's a little tweaky when you adjust it, but once you get it set, it's great. So this one now is 2 pounds and maybe 1 or 2 ounces, right? Which, that's where it should be, in my opinion. So anything more than 3 pounds is pretty much excessive in a bolt action rifle. I like this gun. The price point for it is pretty amazing. It's in the $600 to $700 range, low 600s where I see most of them. The stock is better. So the first gen, the stocks were okay. These are good. You got to really press them together to make them touch. So this barrel is free floated, and every one I've checked so far is free floated. This has 2 action screws right here, and if I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see if I can get close enough. I wrote the inch pounds of each screw. So I took them off and measured the inch pounds, and it was 42 to 45 inch pounds. So I wrote that on the stock. So, because I'll forget, I'm old. I'm old enough, I'll forget. So having it on there helps when you take it apart and put it back together for cleaning. 45 worked fine. The bolt on these is a legion better than what the first gens were. The first gens were awful. They functioned, but they were like, they were awful. Anyway, these nice and clean. Your bolt knob is replaceable if you want. I don't see any reason to replace it. These are extremely nice. 3-point safety, 3-position safety, right? So I can lock my bolt, or I can have it on the middle safety so it won't fire. Get the bolt to move, and then I can have it on rock and roll. Okay? When I replace the trigger, you do have to take some of the parts off of the old trigger. Okay? So you're taking some of the parts off of the old trigger, the safety and the safety bar, and then the center swivel and the C-clip that holds it in place, and then you're putting them back together, putting them on here. Any gunsmith worth his salt can do that. If they can't, they're not really a gunsmith, okay? So pretty easy to do. Some people might be comfortable actually doing it themselves. Just don't get in over your head. Accuracy out of the barrel, I am seeing minute of angle or less, which is really good for a factory rifle. It's starting to be more and more common. In this price range, having minute of angle or less, it's win. It's all win. I put a can on it. I was running a Thunder Beast on it, an Ultra 7. It was great. I put the Vortex Viper on it. Sorry, the Vortex Venom, 3x15. I don't plan on shooting this extremely far. 15's more than enough to get it done for me. So it's a win. It is definitely a swing and a win. It's a home run for sure. You can change the stock on this. So you can change your cheek piece, and you can change the extension. Those haven't really hit the market, but they are in the works, and we know that they're coming out. It's just a matter of time. These are slowly filtering out. What are the cons? I think you have to change the trigger. I mean, the factory trigger on this sucked ass. It was awful. If you get one that's decent and you like the Accu trigger, cool, go for it. But it is something you should probably expect to spend that money on it. What else? They're hard to get. So they're slowly trickling out. It's not like they're readily available. How many of these models are going to be available before the 2024 rifle season? I don't know. I have no idea. We're fighting to get them one at a time in the shop. It's kind of rough sometimes. But if you find one and it's the right caliber for you and you want it, grab it. Because these guns definitely rock. For a basic hunting gun, quality price, high-end accuracy, really, really good features on it in comparison to some of the junk that's out there. Dude, it's a home run. For the price range, it is an absolute slam. I cannot recommend it enough, to be honest with you, for a good hunting gun. This is not something that you're going to go out and shoot a PRC match with. I could see them with some tweaking actually making a PRC gun out of one of these in the future, maybe. That's not their forte, though. So they have the Ruger Precision Rifle for that. I don't see that this will... You never know. It might affect the RPRs, but I doubt it. So, yeah, good win. Great gun. 6.5 Grendel is a lot of fun. You're going to see some more of that on my channel, too. So, hint, hint.